Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings, I am that I am, your host, Christopher Vivace. You're listening to Power of Infinite Now Awareness Radio Experience. As this show has expressed itself and continues expressing itself, we have gone through many different concepts, many different principles, and different ways to apply these principles to your own interaction levels, through your own interlinking process, through your own moments. So these moments basically take you into your expression, your defining factor of your experience here on planet Earth in this moment. So each moment is a directional signature for you. It gives you new direction. It takes you into another aspect of yourself, from the fragmented state to the integrated state, as we continue talking about how energy itself is fragmented when it's in a false state, when it's in a negative and a positive. It's in a false state. So if you are so much in a false state, which means you create a separation between time, and you see time as a horizontal or linear line, time and space, time being the linear, space being the horizontal, and connecting to and putting future and past and future and present as three different things. Seeing it as three different timelines instead of seeing it as just one spectrum of experience, telling a story. So if you are in this moment of reflection and you are in a positive and a negative state in that moment, then that moment takes you into further stages of descension, further phases of fragmentation. So you've built up an energy reservoir in this concept. So in this construct, you have a lot of momentum built behind it. And this energy expression you have created based on your conscious awareness of your moments. So the further we go into our infinite conscious awareness of our moments, the more energy we have to complete ascension, to create ascension in the body, to go into these ascending states. Ascending states can have different words that basically mean the same thing. Using higher parts of the brain, having a higher IQ, being able to download information, bringing information, the streaming of information, all these things that are happening in this moment, connected to, and words are just expression, and words go into many layers. That's why there's so many different languages. Because when you can create a bunch of chaos, you can create discommunication, and you can break away source energy. You start separating it into religion, you start separating it into culture, you start separating it into skin color. All these constructs for separation to create this. So if we can get along with one another and connect with one another, how do you expect for us to have interlinking with source energy directly to the beginning point of source energy? We must see this, and we must break it down to the most molecular structure that there is and look at each human being and expressing in this full form of expression. When you look closely into the body, into the DNA, you see a very symmetrical, you see a very beautiful experience taking place. The same experience is happening inside everybody else. The only difference is their perception levels of how much that DNA is opened up. It's the difference. The more perception levels you have, the more expression you have in your DNA, the more interlinking takes place, the more activation takes place. So your DNA may look different than somebody else's, but yet it's the same substance and it's the same totality of that experience. It's the same. It's the mirror aspect. Here in third density, our DNA is showing us that it's more than just the concept of DNA. It's this infinite source energy in constant action. It's in constant action, and it's always moving. It's always expanding. It's always contracting. This is a part of our intelligence that we exist as, that we don't really get to look at too much, because all the distractions and barriers that go into place with your own attention and your own attention of your own energy. See, if your energy never went into it to begin with, it can't be created. It won't happen. But since your energy is harnessed by your action of just giving it away, there's technology that can harness it. There's people that have certain abilities that can harness it and create this vortex of energy to be in this deharmonized state, this deharmonization. This keeps these particular beings in complete control over the planet through that. Now, if we as sentient beings would wake up, and not even if we are, we'd wake up to this, we would see that the only thing that matters is source energy, this omnipresent source energy that is within inside of you. That is your protection. So you no longer externally connect. You internally connect first. Then you externally connect. If you do it the other way around, what happens is you are actually being dragged into a drama, a storyline, an experience that is very dualic. There's duality behind that because you are not balanced. Your power comes from within, but it expands from without. Each point around you is a generator. It's a generation of this pure energy in its purified form. Well, if you're a mirror of that energy and you're reflecting at its exact vibration and rate of expression, then that energy is obedient to you because it recognizes you are it and it is you. I am that I am. So that energy is able to allow the expansion to take place. See, when we activate ourselves, we go into this higher state of expression, all energy comes directly into us because we are in the infinite. Where the infinite, there's infinite amount of energy. So if you're connected to the infinite and you are the infinite, then you are infinite energies, are you not? That would make you infinite energy. The only reason why it feels limited is because of how we perceive things. If you perceive in this moment and connect to all moments, then you perceive the infinite, so you perceive infinite energy. If you only get little speckles of it here and there, or if you get trapped into a level of a perception level where you think that's where it ends, then it's limited. That's why there's so many constructs in each dimension. It's for us to basically figure it out, to mastermind the maze, so to speak, complete the maze. So each dimension to us and our perception levels is different than someone that would be in the sleep state. And the sleep state, third density sucks. Does it not? Fourth density sucks. You start going into these higher frequencies and you're not balanced here, how in the heck can that frequency mirror perfection if you are not perfection here? You must be perfection here for that frequency to match, to connect to interlink with. So if you only have half of these levels of expression, you fragment it. They're fragmented. When they're coming down not in its purest form, but they do come down in the momentum of the energy that they exist as, because now you've connected to a black hole. Source energy expresses itself in two ways. Source energy is either a black hole, or source energy is a Stargate system. What does a black hole do? A black hole sucks energy, pulls it in. Stargate expands it. It's an expansion of connectiveness, of interlinking. So you start getting these modalities, you start getting these teachings, and all these different things start coming in, but they're coming down in such a fragmented state that their actual energy is connected to descension, to black hole systems, to wormhole systems. These are the systems that basically dominate and control galaxies. So if we're living in a galaxy where these black holes exist, we're living in a galaxy that is broken away from the universal light matrix, the source energy construct. It's broke because we have all these black hole systems taking place. So what this does is this rewires everything. It rewires the whole system, the whole star system. It rewires the whole planetary system. It rewires the concept of gravity. It rewires all these different things, and you have this wobble of experience taking place, and the wobble is very unbalanced. It's not harmonized. So when you're starting off in this finite expression of the galaxy as an infinite being, and it seems like there's more finite stuff, basically what happens, you as source energy in its fall state connect to that energy and pull all that black hole energy down to your chakra system, down through your whole meridian system, and then you expand that reality, you expand that consciousness, this beautiful consciousness in this finite expression. This infinite consciousness gets expressed and fragmented into this finite expression, which matches the same frequency of the galaxy we exist in. Why do you think people have such a hard time with connecting to this source energy? Why is that? Yeah, it looks like it's a bunch of manipulation down here. You have the Illuminati, you have the Bilderberg, and you have all these different Templars, and you've heard all the different secret societies. But what people fail to realize, everything is a mirror. If it's happening here, it's happening up there as well. And it's being reinforced. So all that energy coming down to you is all fragmented. When it hits this dimension, it becomes more fragmented because of the technology that exists and all the different things that are used to harness your energy into this state of destruction, and then shot out against you again and again. It expands back out. So it hits you back. You're in a sleep state, right? You know what's going on. You're in a sleep state. It hits you back, and it expresses and expands. It expands out because the black hole has basically gotten bigger. So it has a bigger radius, and it's expanding more and more and more. So automatically coming here, it's very difficult to connect to source energy. That's the challenge to begin with. That was part of the challenge because through that process, it made it very difficult to connect to source energy, which means that you have to go through these different experiences that create harmonization of energy, the agreement between dark and light. Through this agreement process, connecting to source energy is the first step because this opens up that gateway, that rainbow bridge gateway for you to stand on and to see yourself as the mirror and begin the journey of reflection. Seeing the mirror in everything. Seeing the mirror concept through all aspects of creation, standing on this rainbow bridge. You know, people say they're reborn again, they have this great awakening and all these different interesting words. Each moment we open up a new layer, we're reborn. Each moment we're streaming new information, we're reborn. Each idea is us being reborn. All those things are being reborn. Question is, are you being reborn in a finite state or an infinite state? The infinite state has a much broader potentiality than a finite state does.